Welcome to Trucks and Tractor Power here on TNN. Today it's motor racing action in the Northeast. We're at the Four-Wheel Jamboree Nationals in beautiful Essex, Junction, Vermont. And today it's exciting Class 5 racing action. Hi, I'm Tom Rivers. Welcome to Trucks and Tractor Power. It's great to be able to hang out with folks who have the same common interest in four-wheel drive and trucks and motorsports as we do. There's another common interest here on the grounds, though. It's over in the pits. And that common interest is who can master the 180 feet of mud. For that, we go to my partner, Army Armstrong. Army?
Indeed, Tom. The 180-foot pit they're going to be racing through has the drivers concerned. But they have a genuine care for what's after that 180-foot pit. I'm sitting on a concrete barrier. It's located in front of an electrical outlet. There are two of these electrical outlets that are permanently affixed to the infield of this course. You got to remember, these courses are made to run 2 and 3 days a year. So the permanent structures take precedent. What do you do about the permanent structures? It's real simple. You have to put the concrete barriers in front of them. But if you look over my shoulder, you'll notice the drivers that come out of the pit in the right lane have 3 major obstacles to get around. It's basically going to be like tap dancing in a minefield. You got to get through the pit, then you got to shut that puppy down on the big end.
We'll keep an eye on that. Let's look at our point standings. At number 1, Jeremy Finley at 450 points, followed by Will Height, Martin, Lane, and Behrman. And speaking of Behrman, let's get to the starting line for our first race today.
And the order in which you run is determined by the luck of the draw, and Behrman's at number 5 in the National Points Chase. Draws that number 1 slot, meaning he'll be the first to go down the track in the beautiful 27 Ford Roadster out of Holland, Michigan. It's a good shot of the cut tires. The class tires here must be highway approved tires, and then each driver modifies them themselves. Behrman the first into the lights, Tom, and he'll be going up against another driver that we've not seen on the circuit before in a beautiful 23 Ford Roadster. As a matter of fact, the new driver's taking his time going into the starting line, trying to build a little bit of heat. Rodney McGlynn's the gentleman's name.
Taking his time getting up to the line.
Yeah, both Behrman fired quite a few. Now remember, an alcohol engine, as you well know, burns cool. The more heat you get, the more horsepower it makes. But there is a point where you can get too hot and start robbing horsepower.
So in our first Class 5 race, it's Behrman versus McGlynn.
McGlynn far lane, Behrman closest.
Sounds like they're warming up, almost up to the line, and let's see what happens.
180 feet. Oh, Behrman made a move, but then comes only on a big end. Had a little bit of trouble shutting it down in the shutdown area, but I think everything's okay.
Rodney McGlynn with a good time at Tropical Disease of 2.5.
And Behrman drills it with a 381 with a 9. Not the number he was looking for, but what happened when Behrman left the line? It looked like it hooked. Yeah, we got a replay coming. Watch him hook to the left. He'll bang the wall. Now backpedal. Meanwhile, McGlynn is on rock and roll. He's coming to the other end big time.
Spent a lot of time on that line. Let's see if we can figure out how it affected him. Here's Army.
Mike, it seemed like you sat up there for an awfully long time before you made the run.
Yeah, it seemed like the other guy was trying to burn me down, it felt like, but I was waiting.
What kind of heat do you have in the motor now?
Yeah, it's over 220 degrees.
Well, that's what happens when you spend some time up on that line.
Like I say, in an alcohol motor, heat's good, but hot will kill the horsepower, and that's exactly what happened there.
Well, back in the staging area here, we're going to see our next heat, and that's going to see 2 drivers who we're pretty familiar with here on the circuit.
The fellow we just saw a moment ago was Rodney Covington. He'll be going up against Brian Mayetta here out of Danbury, Connecticut. So we don't get a chance to see this guy very often. And he wants to come up here and run with the big boys, and they come up in the Northeast. Covington right here out of Maryland himself, a real hard charger, relies on the Keith-back Chrysler Hemi engine. The vehicle you're looking at now relies on the Chevrolet for horsepower.
So it's a classic kind of race in terms of getting up to the line, Ford versus Chevy. The time to beat, of course, is the 2.5 run in the last heat.
I think that number will go down before the day's over. The track looks good. The drivers like it. The shutdown area here is really nice. The drivers are real comfortable with it. So, again, the one thing I'm noticing today is all the drivers are taking a whole lot of time to stage the vehicles. They're trying to get some heat in the motors.
Let's see how that affects them here as they launch heat number 2.
Whoa, good side-by-side start. Both drivers, when they get to the end, split in different directions.
Great run, but Rodney got a little too much on it there.
Oh, man, out of bounds. That's got to make him sick. The 275 will not affect the lead.
Let's take a look at the replay here. You'll see, take a look. It starts off as a good, strong head-to-head race. Rodney's doing just fine, but here, right towards the end of the track, he gets it up on the side, and DQ's going out of bounds.
Army, good news and bad news. Good news, you made a good run. Bad news, the word we get, you hit the stake on the other end, you're disqualified. I know you're not a happy camper.
No, sir, I'm not a happy camper. But what are you going to do? Just come back tomorrow and try again?
What did the track feel like? It looked like you were making awesome horsepower. You made a little bit of a lift towards the end of the track, but that looked like you were just putting the horsepower down.
Yeah, the track could take the horsepower. It just, I guess it spun a little crooked at the starting line, and I couldn't correct it.
Well, he'll come back and race another day, and we'll have more racing action from Essex Junction, Vermont when we come back. Welcome back to beautiful Essex Junction, Vermont, to the New England Four-Wheel Jamboree Nationals. It's a gorgeous day here, and we've got some great racing going on. Track conditions look like they're ideal, Army.
Yeah, the drivers are liking the track as Darren Tibbett comes up in a 27 Ford Roadster open body vehicle, and he'll be going up against Mike Camella out of Ohio in the Bonkers, and Mike's trying to put together a new chassis combination. He took up with the KCD people trying to get his vehicle to bite off the starting line. All the drivers today, Tom, you notice, are taking a lot of time
in the staging area, but the time to beat on the track here is 2:05.
Camella made the move first. Tibbett comes back on the other end.
Good straight-ahead run. Mike Camella, though, not quite strong enough. Bonkers comes in at a 2.9. Darren Tibbett's better. Midnight Magic at a 2.6, but not good enough.
Yeah, neither one of them are going to affect the lead, but look at the track. The track on the right-hand side is a lot wetter. See the highlight? Camella's running in that wetness. The track on the left side of the screen from the camera eye is a lot drier. Lane choice could prove to be fatal before the day's over, just by the fact one's wetter than the other, Tom.
But still straight ahead, some good straight-ahead racing in this sport. Now, Tom Martin up on the line. And Tom's got an interesting story with his Quaker State vehicle. Spent some time over the past season working on it, and Army had a chance to talk to him about that work.
Starting off 1996 with a brand new sponsor package from Quaker State and Slick 50. Six-time world champion Tom Martin was about the most optimistic guy out there. Didn't take him long to find out something was wrong with the combination. He had lost the horsepower that had gained him those 6 world championships. But Tom, I understand you made a trek up into New York and found some horsepower you've been looking for all year long.
That's true. You know, we've been struggling all year. We made the decision to go up to Jim Oddie in New York. He's got a dyno facility to find the horsepower, and we found it. We went in there with 1,300 horsepower. He found some piston problems. We weren't sealing the heads, and we come out of there with a little over 1,800 horsepower, so we're looking good here in Vermont.
The word is you spent 10 hours in there and you picked up 500 horsepower. That is time well spent.
It's very well spent. As we left yesterday afternoon, Jim said to tighten my seatbelt because I'm going for a ride.
That's the gospel. Jim Ottie's been making horsepower in the sport of drag racing for years. I'm glad to see he and a lot of other engine builders recognizing this sport and really stepping up on a horsepower for these guys, because this is real racing, as you well know, Tom.
Well, like anything else, you can't stay on top of any professional motorsport without reinventing and looking at all of your equipment, and that's exactly what Tom Martin did. He's going up against Joey Villarreal and Joey Quick, and Joey's car was owned by Tom Martin previously.
Yeah, it's an identical car. If there's such thing as a mirror run, this is going to be it. The only difference is the paint job and the experience. Martin in the far lane, a lot more experience than Joey in the Joey Quick car.
The track's been running nice today, so we should get some good times as Villarreal and Martin try to beat a 2.5. That is the time to beat.
Martin made the move first.
He got right out there.
Yeah, good. Oh, Joey comes out, has to do a little negotiating at the end of the track. Martin goes to 2.56, showing it can be done.
Very close. Joey Villarreal, Joey Quick at a 2.6.
Tom, let's take a look at the replay. We told you the vehicles are mirror images of each other. Let's see how they react on the run.
Well, they look like it's a good straight-ahead run. Martin got off the line a little bit quicker, and that side of the track seems to be giving people a little more problem. Joey got a good straight run, but had a problem in the shutdown area.
Joey, it looks like you guys have got a good track to run on out there today.
Oh, yeah, it's real good. It's holding the horsepower. I got a little crazy out there, started going on me. I didn't want to get out of it. Had to dodge the barriers, went right in between them. I thought I was going to take one of them out, but got lucky.
Other than that, it was a perfectly straight run. The way my 16-year-old son would tell you.
One of the best guys in the business, Dan Brown, in the BDS Mind Games, up the line now. And I'll tell you what, this guy certainly knows a lot about this sport and has his share of successes in it.
You're exactly right. And what he's looking for right now, he went to the line and he's backing up. He's trying to pick a spot. He didn't like the groove that he was going to be running in. He'll be going up against who in that other lane, Tom?
In the other lane, it's going to be Steve Salvador, who is going to be driving a brand new vehicle called Quicksand. So new, in fact, you won't even see a name on it there.
Well, as a matter of fact, the vehicle we've seen before, he's a new owner of this vehicle, so you got a brand new guy and a new combination in the far lane that you're looking at right now. And then Dan Brown comes out, and this is like a guy in a pair of old loafers in the Whittier, California blower drive service vehicle. But all eyes are on the blue vehicle. As Brown rolls into the lane, he's ready to go. When that visor goes down, voila, he's ready to go racing.
Well, it's interesting because you'd think if he were on his first run that Steve would want to draw somebody other than Dan Brown, but he's out there just to basically, you know, make a good showing, make a good run. And again, Brown and Salvador are both trying to beat that time of a 2.5.
You race the clock in this sport. You don't race the guy in the lane next to you. You've got to be aware of it. We got a race there. That looked good. That's a good side-by-side race. Brown a 2.55 with a 4. It's a good number. Salvador a 2.73. Not bad at all for the first time in the vehicle, Tom.
Dan Brown's 2.5 should put him in number 2, the number 2 spot. As we look, there's Rodney McGlynn with a 2.53, Dan with a 2.55, Tom Martin, Joey Villarreal, and Darren Tibbetts. We're back with more racing in a moment. Welcome back to Essex Junction, Vermont for the New England Four-Wheel Jamboree Nationals. They're grooming the track. That gives us an opportunity to show you the monster truck exhibition that we had here. Army, these trucks have a lot of fun when they do this.
Yeah, and the people up in this part of the country get a chance to see them on TV, but they don't get a chance to see them up close and personal, and believe me, this weekend they did. The Black Stallion came out along with Kurt Dabney doing their number and really showing off. And that's what this is all about, just showing off. When it's all over, they go and they put the grass back down, and everything is just as well as it was. But one of the highlights is this tough truck competition, and that's gaining a lot of popularity wherever we go, isn't it, Tom?
Absolutely a highlight. These guys get out there and run around the track. They do it for glory. They don't do it for money. They do it for the fun. And wow, the excitement of hits like that. But
you know, that's not all that goes on here. You got monster trucks, mud racing, tough trucks, and the tough truck competition each week gets a little bit tougher, and guys are really leaning on it.
Boy, you know, even in casual racing like the tough truck, you still got to be careful.
Then you can walk over to the show and shine area.
Out on the midway, there's lots of action. Folks shining up their show trucks and hanging out and having a good time on the midway, getting ready for the show and shine competition. And it's all part of the Four-Wheel Jamborees, which are part of the Special Events Performance Series, featuring a weekend of four-wheel fun. There's the manufacturer's midway. Check out the chrome and polish of the show and shine competition. Make sure you contact the Special Events Promotion Company to find out more about the Jamborees and about other Special Events Performance Series events in your area. We're back to racing now, and you would think that would be Jeremy Finley in the S-Kicker, but not this week.
Now, Finley broke his arm in an accident, so he brought in Robert Heisner to do the driving, and this is an opportunity for this guy to take a ride in a piece of equipment that he's never been in before. Robert is a good racer, but he's never had good equipment to go against. He was scheduled to go against the Bonkers vehicle, but that vehicle will not make the call, so this is a break for Heisner. As we're watching the Bonkers team have problems, Heisner in the other lane will get that by run. Wow.
What a fast run.
You could hear that motor whining.
Look at that time. The S-Kicker clocks at 2.4. That's the fastest time. And on the replay, you have to wonder whether or not having Bonkers not running made him a little more confident. One less thing to worry about hitting. Here's Army. Talk about that run.
Okay, the very first time in the vehicle, very first ride, your neck brace blew off, by the way. Son, you go into the lead with a 2.49.
That feels good.
What did the run feel like to you?
Felt great. It's nice to be in a good car.
And nice to set a new track record. His 2.4 run is a new track record here at Essex Junction.
Tell you what, he's a good driver. He's giving the car a lot of credit. That guy can rock and roll with you. Who's going to be coming out next? Looks like Jimmy Carr out of Trenton, New Jersey. We've seen him on the circuit before in the 23 Ford Roadster. He'll be going up against another 23 Ford Roadster. This is out of the Buckeye State. Mike Lane, and Lane's been having some problems with his vehicle, the one closest to us. The vehicle's been going out and then hooking on him, and Mike is trying to work that problem out all year long. So let's see if he solved the problem. Car in the far lane, Lane in the near lane. Vehicles look identical. They're both 23 fiberglass replica Ford bodies, relying on supercharged big block Chevrolet engines, generate around 1,500 horsepower apiece, Tom.
Track's been freshly groomed. We should have a good straight-ahead run, and the time to beat now is going to be hard to beat that 2.4.
2.4 is a quick number, believe me.
Let's see how they do.
Car straight as an arrow, lane not able to work out his problem. Car goes to 258, lane out of bounds.
It looks like at about the 90-foot mark he went out of bounds. Jimmy Carr had a nice run, but just not quite fast enough. You'll see he does have a pretty straight-ahead run, though.
Yeah, Carr looks like he's coming down a flat Kansas highway, man. He makes a perfect run.
But
he's fighting it all the way.
You can see him, he's out to the outside there.
Meanwhile, Darren Tibbetts comes out in a supercharged Chevrolet version of a 27 Ford Roadster, trying to pick out a good lane. As all the drivers now know, the track has been reworked. There are good grooves and bad grooves out there, and everybody's looking for their groove. What'll work for them. All these vehicles are not the same width, so not everybody can run in the lane from the guy in front of them. In the other lane, you got Fred Wilhite coming out, the clown of the sport, if you will.
It looks like one of his little antennas off to the side there.
Yeah, he's the guy that has two little dingleberries on his helmet. Only one dingleberry's up, so he must have had a rough night last night. But he'll drive a vehicle called the Money Pit, sponsored by the M30 Hand Cleaner people, along with VP Racing Fuels, another big block Chevrolet for horsepower. And this guy will rock and roll you in a heartbeat.
Yeah, folks who follow the sport know that you're going to get a show when Fred Wilhite comes out to the line.
Ready, Freddy. That's what it's all about. Tibbetts in the near lane, Wilhite in the far lane. The far lane seems to be working better, but all the drivers say they want to get in the near lane, in the Tibbett lane. Let's see what Wilhite can do with him.
And again, the time to beat, of course, that 2.4, very fast. If there's one person who can do it, though, I'd put some money on Fred Wilhite.
I would, too. I'd put your money on it, too. Whoa, we got a number.
Great run by Wilhite.
Boy, both drivers getting down the old freeway pretty good. Wilhite, 2.5 with a 0. He was there. There'd been hand grenades. He'd have hit something. He was close, but that's not going to get the job done.
That time should put Wilhite in the number 2 slot, although it looks like he is in the lane that's more wet of the two, and perhaps Army can ask him about that. Army?
Well, Tom, as we get ready for Fred Wilhite to get his helmet off, we notice one of his antlers is kind of messed up here, so that may have affected the run. We'll have to wait and see. Fred, tell me about the track out there.
It's got some good potential. It's got plenty of hook out there. I feel that the right lane is definitely a better lane, but the left lane's what they give me.
So at this point, the top 5 standings look like this here at Essex Junction, Vermont. Robert Heisner with that 2.4, followed by Wilhite, McGlynn, Brown, and Martin. And we're back with more racing in just a moment. Well, the stands are full, and they're even spilled out onto the grass here at Essex Junction, Vermont for the New England four-wheel Jamboree Nationals.
Well, they know it's not over yet. We got a quick time out there, but we got a guy that is a guide for big game hunting coming out now. He's out of Idaho. His name is Al Jones. He'll be running the supercharged big block engine with the supercharged scoop, the blower scoop, if you will. The very top piece there is turned around backwards compared to other people. There's the guy he's trying to catch. There's the guy who owns the car he's trying to catch. That's Jeremy Finley and Robert Heisner.
Intently watching the run of Alan Jones to see if he can beat their time of a 2.49.
Alan Jones definitely can do it. He's been running a number all year long, runs the big mountain motor. You can see him psyching himself up. The graphic comes up. He kind of looks kind of a Grizzly Adam character, so you know he's not going to be afraid to rock and roll with these guys. He'll be going up against a vehicle in the other lane that he has a lot more horsepower than. In the other lane, the vehicle is running a naturally aspirated engine with a little bit of nitrous oxide. That'll be Charles Thompson. And Thompson basically is outclassed here. They drew each other just basically by the luck of the draw. So keep your eye on Jones. He can definitely be a player not only for this run, but also for the overall. And all the competitors know it, that 240 is not safe with Jones on that starting line.
Well, Robert Heisner and Jeremy Finley are certainly keeping a close eye on it, and they should be, because if there's someone out here who could possibly take the lead, it would be Alan Jones in the Mud Hen.
Well, if you walk out on the street and get in a slapping competition, you would not want the Mud Hen against you, I'll tell you that.
Let's see how they do as they line up here, just about up to the line.
Jones, a real wide vehicle, you notice. Oh, he's there.
That's a strong run.
Left turn, Clyde. He's coming across. Oh, what a run. Tom, what was the time?
Let's see if we can get it a time here from the field. There it is, Alan Jones in the Mud Hen. Look at that, a 2.40. He is the new leader and the winner.
Oh, right, yeah. Last guy takes a shot at you. You can't fire back, and they look at body language tells it all.
Yep. Yep, they're probably disappointed, but they would say fair race, and Alan Jones did it. Straight ahead, straight on.
Good run, big wide wheelbase. Alan Jones out of Idaho is going to take the first place money home. But I wonder what the other driver thought when he saw him coming across like, oh, okay, go ahead.
I wonder if he signaled before that. A new track record, Alan Jones at a 2.40, followed by Heisner, Wilhite, McGlynn, and Dan Brown. At some of the
Pre-owned car, truck, or van during our huge holiday credit.
Welcome to Trucks and Tractor Power on TNN. This weekend, we're at the New England Four-Wheel Jamboree Nationals in Essex Junction, Vermont. One weekend a year, the folks gather here for a weekend of show and shine competitions, monster trucks, mud drags, hot food, plenty of sunshine, and cold drinks, all in one great weekend. I'm Tom Rivers, along with Army Armstrong, here for a great day of racing action.
I tell you, it's like being at a baseball game without bases. Everybody's having fun here today.
In Class 6 racing action, we have one heck of a points battle brewing. The Behrman brothers melted an engine in Class 5 competition here at Essex Junction, so they won't be racing today. Now, they were the leaders. Behind them, it's a three-way tie for number 2. So before the day is out, somebody's going to move up to the top of the points competition. Who's it going to be, and how's the race shaping up? Let's check in with Army Armstrong. Army?
The three-way shootout you're talking about, Tom, is going to involve 4 people and 3 of the heaviest hitters in the sport. The S-Kicker, Jeremy Finley. Bob Heisner is going to be driving that vehicle. Finley broke his arm in an accident. In this sport, the points stay with the car. Finley put Heisner in the car. He knows he can drive it. He finished second in the Class 5 competition yesterday. 2 of the other players we got to keep an eye on. They can go out here at a national points leader. The Blower Drive Service out of Whittier, California. Dan Brown came back to the pit area after Class 5. Did some major adjustments in the clutch area. Says the track will hold some more horsepower. And the other guy, the clown of the sport, Fred Wilhite. He came out of Class 5 racing, just wiped the vehicle off, says, hey, this puppy is ready to fly in the Green Mountain country. And that's where we are.
Well, as Arby said, the points stay with the car, and that's why Jeremy Finley's S-Kicker is continuing in competition, driven by Robert Heisner.
And I think I pronounced that name S-Kickamer, but down south, that's the way we do that. Heisner doing it driving, had a strong run in the car in the previous time out, knows he can be a player, but draws early in the field. You're dealing with an unknown here, and that being the track surface itself. Notice the big scooper tires on the back, Tom. As you well know, that's what distinguishes these guys in Class 6.
Brian Maeda in Foolish Pleasure out of Danbury, Connecticut. We don't get to see him often, so it's nice that he can make it up to this race.
Well, he says he can run with these guys. We're going to find out. He picked one of the baddest boys in the sport to go up against. Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy.
He can run with these guys all right. Wow.
Robert Heisner, unfortunately, out of bounds in the S-Kicker. And Brian Maeda in Foolish Pleasure, fast time at a 2.4. Nice run for Brian.
That's an awfully good run. Both drivers look like they left the starting line good. The track looks like it's going to hold the horsepower, but as the right of the screen comes up, you can see the S-Kicker kicking the berm, and that'll put him out of the picture.
Yeah. Robert Heisner definitely up on the side. Let's see if we can find out why. Here's Army with Robert.
One of the guys involved in a three-way battle royal for the national points lead, DQ, out of bounds. Now, I'm going to ask you something. There was a lot of activity going to the left front of you on the starting line. There was somebody up there moving around. What was that about?
Well, he was trying to tell me I was lined up a little crooked.
Okay, had you lined up straight, do you think you would not have gone out of bounds?
Yeah, I'm certain.
Well, it's all academic now, and the next guy up the line is going to have his shot at it, and that's Al Jones in the Mud Hen out of Idaho, of course, and Al won the Class 5 competition, so there's obviously a lot of belief that he's going to be able to do well today.
You're exactly right. He'll be going up against Jimmy Carr in the other lane. Now, both of these guys, Carr, by the way, out of Trenton, New Jersey, both of them real strong runners. Al Jones in the vehicle that's got a top on it, his visibility is not as good. I'm anxious to see what the track is going to be like because that's what I thought. These guys are all these big horsepower vehicles in Class 6 are having trouble putting the horsepower to the ground. Allen, he's out of here, disqualified. The other lane car, he can go home. He's out of here too.
Unbelievable. Both of them DQ'd.
Now, what will that do to the track behind them? The guys that have got to race in these same ruts, this could be spelling problem for the later members of this field, Tom.
Well, you can see the Mud Hen up on the berm on one side and Jimmy Carr up on the berm on the opposite side. Both of them pulled out to the outsides there.
Precision berm driving team, if you will. Well, both of them have a lot of time to think about it.
More sun and racing from Essex Junction when we come back. Welcome back to Trucks and Tractor Power, straight to the racing line with Midnight Magic. David Ray driving out of New Hampshire.
He'll be going up against Tom Martin, who just burped the throttle and cleaned the tires off. Martin out of Portage, Indiana. The Super Trooper.
The trademark red flashing lights.
Six-time national champion. Went to New York, found 500 horsepower Jim Oddie shop, and he's ready to go. Meanwhile, on the other lane out of New Hampshire, the Ford-powered vehicle, Ray has turned the driving chores over to other people, but he's coming back behind the wheel himself, and he's a player. Both of these are good racers, Tom. Picture-perfect race. Wasn't it? That was pretty.
Great run. David Ray. Tom Martin there with a time of 2.6. But David Ray, there's a story at 2.4. Great run for David Ray.
Yeah, the replay comes up. You're going to see two perfect runs, I think, by two real good drivers. Martin at the left of the screen actually moves first. You see his rooster tail grow. But Ray, with that Ford horsepower, comes on big on the other end, Tom.
Sure looks like that Jim Oddie power that Tom Martin got is going to pay off for him. He had a great run. But the story is David Ray, who clocks a great time, and Army can check in with him now.
2:45, an awfully good number.
Yeah, it really was. We played with the car a lot, and we should have taken just a little more fuel out of it. We got a new computer that's really helped us out a lot, and I'll tell you what, they put us right in the ball game today, and the old Ford power came right through.
Boy, he sure picked up on his Georgia accent, didn't you, Army?
Oh, that New England accent. Be proud of him, folks.
All right, here's a unique situation with two different sort of vehicles going against each other.
The vehicle you're looking at right now is giving away about 500 horsepower to the far lane. That would be
Adamski and McGlynn here in Tropical Disease.
McGlynn with the normal supercharged engine on top, Adamski in the lane closest with the naturally aspirated and nitrous-assisted vehicle. Upset, Tom Rivers. That was not supposed to happen. That was a good run. McGlynn, a 264, but the times are going to be deceiving in the other lane.
Adamski with a 2.9, which is a great time for a naturally aspirated vehicle.
Exactly. Now, here comes a guy that'll go bear hunting with the switch. Rodney Covington out of Maryland. It's taking some. If you bought the video and they walked away and shake, battle, and roll, you guys got a lot of air time. He'll be going against the Bonkers vehicle of Mike Camilla out of Ohio. So you got Maryland and Ohio. Camilla goes through the routine of shaking hands with the crew chief, and he'll roll into the lanes. Both vehicles generating around 1,500 horsepower. A Chevy-powered vehicle with Bonkers. Covington runs a Chrysler horsepower, so you got a little manufacturer's war going on here. The track looks good, doesn't it, Tom? The track looks good and smooth at this point.
It looks like it's going to be a Covington versus Camilla battle, but they're really battling the clock and trying to beat that 2.4 that's already up on the wall. See a little wheel stand there?
Yeah, also he hit so hard on the end of the track. Camilla, 286, that's not a bad number. A 254 for Covington, and he hit the top end so hard it literally blew his neck brace off. That's how hard they're going. Matter of fact, I think you'll be able to see it in the replay. Watch the vehicle on the left when it goes to the finish line. You'll see something come off the vehicle. Not to worry, that's just his neck brace. And he did it on two wheels.
Great run for Rodney Covington. Still not good enough to beat the time, though, of 2.4, which is the time they're trying to beat.
Right now, we've got our eye on Gary Plouffe, who comes out by the luck of the draw. He'll be driving a naturally aspirated vehicle. Again, when I say that, he's giving away a lot of horsepower. Who's he giving the horsepower away to, Tom?
Well, Steve Salvador is a new driver to a proven vehicle known as Quicksand. And so this is his, I believe, second time behind the wheel.
So if you're a bet man, you'd bet horsepower on the far side and consistency on the side closest to us. Let's see what's going to happen here. Consistency.
That's a nice run. Something obviously happened here with Steve Salvador. He's struggling to get down the track here.
Yeah, but the worst, he's going to finish is second.
In the seat.
Oh, and he lost his neck brace, too.
I mean, he may have taken it off in disgust. I can't tell. Gary Plouffe finishing a nice time for his vehicle at 3.4.
Yeah, like I say, these guys with the engines like that are giving away 500 horsepower.
So the standings are David Ray with the 2.4, followed by Maeta, Covington, Martin, and Camilla. From Essex Junction, Vermont, we've got more racing for you coming up. Welcome back to Trucks and Tractor Power. I'm Tom Rivers along with Army Armstrong, who's found, guess what?
You know, with a name like Army Armstrong, I know, Tom, you're going to be teasing me about stopping by the military stuff, but Look here, the guys from the Vermont Army National Guard, the B Company, the maintenance operation, have come up with a unique display. We kind of liked it, thought we'd share it with you. First of all, it gives the youngsters an opportunity to see exactly what the B Company maintenance guys do. Normally, they work with a real heavy equipment in the military, the track vehicles. But what they've done, they've given the youngsters an opportunity to come and take pieces of the track like this here, okay, and the nuts and bolts you see, and actually weld them together. So the youngsters can come over and actually create their own tank. It's kind of a neat deal. Plus, when you get through welding, you actually get to weld. It's a hands-on deal. When you get through welding, you get to go out back and paint it the way you want to. Once you're finished, hey, check this out. You get a cool Frisbee then.
Looks like fun, Army, and it's all part of the four-wheel jamborees, which are part of the Special Events Performance Series, featuring a weekend of four-wheel fun. Look at the manufacturer's Midway, or check out the chrome and polish of the Show and Shine competition. Contact the Special Events Promotion Company to find out more about the jamborees and about other Special Events Performance Series events in your area.
Right now, Tim Alexander playing dirty comes out. He'll be going up against Pete Resick. Now, both of these fellows do not rely on the supercharged engine. They run the nitrous oxide assisted engine.